The UK government wants to curb immigration with digital IDs? Guess who's back? Back again. Digital IDs are back. Tell your friends. No, seriously. Tell your friends. Tell them to get one. Otherwise, we'll throw you in the slammer, the glass house, the pokey. Alrighty, so what is the up, Z-Tribe? Recently, the idea of digital IDs has been making a comeback in the UK as its people are getting more and more fed up with their government's bullshit over time. This time they're posing it as a means to help curb illegal immigration. You mean kind of like how the US did with the whole inside job of 9/11, which was used as a means to spy on its own citizens, as well as take away even more of their sovereign rights / liberties? Yep. Kind of like how it was also used to give the feds even more power / control over them, and both were also used as a means to prevent terrorism, which they haven't really done much of. Yep. Which also was being used as a means to condition US citizens to a sort of mini / soft surveillance state, so that way they'd be buttered and primed for the next
FBI, open up! Cops! FBI! Clear right!
Now, given that the UK has used very similar means or a variety of different things in order to spy on their own citizens and strip them of more of their rights, it's very likely that this is just going to be used in the same exact way again. Same shit, different smell. This is a quote from Reuters talking about all this. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is moving forward with plans to introduce digital identification systems as part of efforts to overhaul the country's asylum and immigration system, with an announcement anticipated as early as his party's conference this month, the Financial Times reported on Friday. The finer details of the scheme were still being ironed out, and the timeline could change, the report added, citing 2 people briefed on the matter. In other words, to figure out how to, lie and deceive the people even more, they're just sitting here, ironing it out. Immigration and asylum remain at the heart of Britain's political debate, with the government under pressure to curb record migrant arrivals in small boats, while also addressing the strain of housing tens of thousands of asylum seekers. One option under consideration would give digital IDs to all people legally entitled to reside in Britain, whether citizens or those with legal immigration status, the Financial Times said. Now, this is all happening, and they're trying to sit here and push it under the idea of having it be in one app, including all their healthcare stuff and everything else. So then once, they have the social credit score system enabled, you won't be able to buy a house or, leave the country if you sit here and expose the government corruption that's going on, or you can have your bank accounts frozen, etc.
The main argument that people historically had against identity cards was that somehow it would allow the state to, track us, follow us, control us in all sorts of potentially pernicious ways.
Now, digital IDs are very likely going to be on your phone / on a chip of some sort. And look at all the fucked up things that they are already doing with your smartphones, ironically enough. Really think it's going to be any different with a digital ID and a system like that, whether it's on the chip or a smart device?
Well, we've given Apple and Google and, or Alphabet as they're now called, and Meta, ludicrous amounts of ability to gather information about us and know about us, and and yet we're sort of chilled about it. But I think if you could make the case broadly that it would not only help to, as I say, reduce the black market in labour that suppresses wages, is a pull factor for asylum seekers who are essentially just economic migrants.
How can I lie to make this more believable. Doesn't it make it kind of hard to believe him when he keeps saying so much?
It would obviously be part of, have to be part of all sorts of other improvements in services like health services, because you would probably link this kind of identity card to the NHS app, which could pull together all sorts of useful health information.
Oh, how convenient that it all be in one app, which was made by the government of all people. That way they could easily oust you and all your assets in the click of a button, especially if you openly question them and expose them for all the shitty things that they do. This is just like the first time around, you guys. They want all your health papers, records, banking, etc., all in one convenient place, which they, ironically enough, happen to run / administer. So that way they can just shut you out of society whenever you do something that they don't like, regardless if it's right or not. Sir Keir Starmer's government is considering the introduction of digital ID cards as a measure to tackle illegal migration, specifically small boat crossings and illegal working. Downing Street confirmed the government is exploring the technology, though it has not specified if the cards would be compulsory. Obviously, it will be eventually. Conversely, the Tony Blair Institute supports digital IDs, arguing they would eliminate the shadow economy pull factor and prevent the use of forged paper identification. It's obviously not going to help them deter it that much, because people will find a way around that, just like they have with the paper documentation too. It is only a matter of time.
1 week later.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Imagine that. Shocker there. Wow. It's almost like, it was the whole objective the whole time or something. They were obviously, just gonna give you a choice in the matter. Yeah, totally, man. This is totally not the thing that they would do is mandate. No, not one bit.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
You ever notice how quickly some people make an impression?
I'm a tool. I'm a tool. I'm a tool, an unbelievably annoying tool.
You gotta love how I initially meant to upload this video on the 29th, right, of September here, it's Sunday, and literally within a week or less, they announced that they're mandating the digital ID cards.
You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
You don't get to have a choice whether or not you can have a physical ID. No, you have to have a digital ID. We could go into plenty of specifics of how messed up that is, but ultimately it's authoritarianistic and to enable a technocratic society at the end of the day. The UK government's just totally not like this at all. They were obviously initially just going to give you a choice. Totally, man. Totally. Not at all try to figure out how to lie to you guys about it even more if they could before saying it was mandatory. Now, ultimately, it's going to be used as a means to centralize all your personal private data, whether it's banking, your health records. Show us your papers, you filthy Jew. Dental records, means of transport, etc. In other words, enabling a sort of technocratic state, surveillance state, that uses a social credit score system, kind of like what they have in China. Now let's take a look at, what political officials are saying about this and what's to come next, and who it's ironically enough mimicking after yet again, just like with everything with COVID and lockdowns. And we all know how well that fucking went. Like how it, first off it says Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, as in like to usher in the New World Order. But it says Tony Blair, the digital ID is the disruption the UK desperately needs. Wink, wink. Imagine that all your health information was in one place, easy, with your permission, for anyone anywhere in the health service to see. That your passport, driving license, anything you need to prove your identity were in one simple digital wallet. Oh boy, convenience. Not like that's going to be used to usher in, more power and control over you. No, not one bit. Unique to you, that you could purchase and pay for any goods or services using your digital ID. Now you guys can kind of see where this is going, I take it. But it seems to be a thing that they keep using ID systems in places like China or the UK. Apparently for the last 30 years they've been trying it over in the UK. Let's see where exactly the UK got the inspiration from. Now it happens to be illegal immigration. In reality, of course, the solution to illegal immigration is to stop entering the country improperly rather than to tighten controls over the entire population. ID cards have done nothing to solve the problem on the continent, which we already addressed earlier. It's not really going to solve the issue, if anything. Like, it's really fucking stupid. It does absolutely nothing. The argument against, however, have become vastly more potent as technology has previously unimaginable powers in the hands of state officials. This is no longer an abstract danger. We can see how these powers are abused overseas. China, which has steadily made its cards more powerful, beginning with laminated cards in the 1980s and becoming fully digital this year. Wow! Shocker there. China wouldn't do that and use it as a form of, control and mass surveillance over their whole population. No!
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
At every stage, the changes were presented as measures against identity theft and money laundering guises. China Daily, the English language newspaper published by Central Propaganda Department, reassured its readers in 2013 that the biometric data embedded in the cards would, in quotes, reduce potential crimes involving identification fraud. In fact, the cards were becoming essential for an increasing number of everyday activities. Now you need them to catch a train, apply for a job, buy a SIM card, open a bank account, or rent a flat.
Oh my god! Wow!
Shocker there. It's literally used as a means for their social credit score system, which will ultimately, as technology keeps advancing more and more and keeps getting concentrated more and more in the hands of the few, to usher in a technocratic, authoritarianistic regime, like a dictatorship in a technocratic age. Like, that's the ultimate goal, you guys. They want the Matrix. You have to realize that is the end goal. They want stuff like that, like authoritarianistic control, where it's upper echelon and then the have-nots, the slaves, the serfs, various different, races, religions, creeds, etc. That won't matter to them at all. We also generally tend to see it starting out in China, and then it'll show up in Australia or the UK, and apparently New Zealand too. I didn't know that until today. And then the US, and this is all according to Edward Snowden. And the man is an ex-NSA agent who often held commanding positions before exposing everything. Just saying, it's prime example, you guys. It's just like with everything with COVID and lockdowns. We follow China's examples. And again, look at just how well that went. It was such a grand time for everybody. It didn't also, backfire on the governments and all. No, not one bit. Because they're just so smart. Shit. I don't know much about the situation with UK's illegal immigration, but if it's anything like what we've been dealing with here inside the US, and the last administration particularly, the UK government has been paying and housing these illegal migrants as well too, possibly. But that's enough about what I think. What do you guys think? You guys think that digital IDs are going to, actually help us and not take away more of our powers and freedoms as, sovereign beings and sentient conscious beings? Let us know inside the comments down below. Especially if you guys are over in the UK, let me know what's going on over there too and how you guys feel about it. Love to hear your guys' thoughts, opinions, and concerns about this stuff. Now that's going to be it for today, my dudes. As usual, if you guys did enjoy this content, please don't forget to, hit that like button and destroy the shit out of the subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me, and it also helps us to get further up in the CensorTube algorithm, as well as, Rumble algorithm as well too. And not only that, but it also helps to get this content out to even more people that are independent thinkers or questioning these things, and lets them know that they're not alone and it's okay to question these shitty corrupt systems we live in, because it's completely natural. Also, if you guys did make it to this point in the video, go and leave the phrase glass house in the comment section down below. Tell me that you made it to the end, that you guys were the 1,000,000% try. Also, if you guys would like a more interactive experience with us, come join us live every Wednesday and Friday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. US Central Time, where we tell you guys all about the conspiracy facts and also play a variety of games afterwards, such as Pokemon Unite, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, etc. Whatever really floats the mood. Either way though, my dudes, I appreciate you guys very much for being here. Thank you, much love, and until next time, please don't forget to live long and prosper, take care in peace, keep it 1,000,000% real, and as always, fuck the system. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Z-Trip. Yee-yoo!
People of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you